Let me tell you about ProHealthConnect.com. It's transforming healthcare payments, providing retailers a seamless process for over-the-counter and healthy benefit programs. By connecting retailers, health plans, and payment processors, ProHealth Connect creates one powerful, unified network. They empower independent grocers and pharmacies to accept health benefit cards without changing how they do business. With over 10,000 locations nationwide, helping more than 1.3 million people access the care and nutrition they need. Go to ProHealthConnect.com.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. Stop waiting around for the perfect candidate. Instead, use Indeed sponsored jobs to find the right people with the right skills fast. It's a simple way to make sure your listing is the first candidates see. According to Indeed data, sponsored jobs have 4 times more applicants than non-sponsored jobs. So go build your dream team today with Indeed. Get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
The More Money Show with Steve Moore on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
I hope everyone is going to have a happy and holy Easter. And so we are here, though, today to talk about politics and the economy and energy policy. And I was thinking, who is the smartest guy I know on energy policy, other than myself, of course, but this guy knows about 3 times more on energy than I do. I'm talking about Tom Pyle. Tom's been a regular on this show. He runs a group called the Institute for Energy Research, also the American Energy Alliance. We work almost, we work in the same office because our Unleashed Prosperity leases space from Institute of Energy Research, so we see each other every day. Tom, thanks for joining.
Thank you, and happy Easter, Steve.
Happy Easter. Okay, so I've got a lot to cover with you, Tom, and we want to talk, obviously, energy policy. And I'm going to start, if I may, Tom, with a question that I guess I get asked about 5 times a day. I'm sure you probably do, too, more than that. And I try to explain this to people. Maybe I don't explain it very well, but here is the question, Tom. So people say to me, well, Steve Moore, we're producing more energy than ever before, oil and gas in the United States, thanks to efforts, your group and our group and others, drill, baby, drill. So we are at an all-time high with American oil and gas production. And we are, and correct me if I'm wrong, Tom, but I have seen the statistic that suggests that the United States is actually a net exporter of oil and gas. In other words, we produce more than we can consume in this country. And you can correct me if I'm wrong about that as well. And so the question, if I'm right about those two things, then the obvious question that people are scratching their head wondering is, if we're producing all this oil and gas and we're self-sufficient, why is it that when the price of the gas out of the Middle East goes up, that people are paying more here at home?
Couple reasons, Steve. The first is that, of course, while we produce a lot and our production has made us safer and stronger than ever,
yes.
We have a refinery complex that is tooled specifically to take oil that we don't produce here in the United States for the most part. Our refineries were built in the 70s. And at the time, we were importing most of our oil from Venezuela and then Canada.
Tom, hold on one second. I bet a lot of our listeners don't even know what a refinery. What does a refinery do?
The refinery is what takes that crude oil and turns it into multiple products, fertilizer,
including gasoline.
Natural gas does fertilizer, but gasoline, diesel, jet fuel, home heating oil, asphalt for our roads.
Got it.
Those refineries are basically the cookbook for oil.
Okay. So we need them. So
the issue there is we have to, we need them, and we still have to import oil from other places, even though we're the largest producer. Simply because those refineries don't take that oil. Okay, so that would explain why the price is high now? Well, it explains why just because we produce it doesn't mean we're not isolated from the global price of oil, and that's the issue. Yeah. Okay. So Tom, if a global commodity, and it's right. So if we produce, so one of the problems, and you've written about this, I've written about it, is we need more refineries in this country? Is that right? We do. Luckily, we've got a new one coming in Texas, and that refinery is going to produce 100% American oil, gasoline, and other products from American oil, and that's where the direction that we need to head is. We need to build new refineries, and we need to have them take our oil so that we don't have to worry as much about the global price.
And so, what has been the holdup? Why have we not produced? Why have we not built more refineries?
Well, it's the same reason we don't build pipelines, we don't build bridges, we don't build roads. We have an infrastructure problem in this country because of bureaucracy, because of permitting, because of federal and state, and a lot of NIMBY, that not in my backyard stuff that we've become accustomed to here.
And also the climate change people don't want to build refineries, right?
Oh, absolutely. The climate change people don't want us to do anything.
Right. They don't want pipelines. They don't want refineries. They don't want LNG terminals. By the way, how are we doing on pipelines?
Much better, thanks to President Trump. We've cleared a lot of the backlog from the Biden era, and they are building out the infrastructure now. But the problem with that, too, is a lot of states block them, too. New York, for example, blocks pipelines to the Boston area, Massachusetts, New England states, and so we have to import natural gas, for example, when we have all this natural gas in Pennsylvania, but New York won't let it go through their state. So even if we fix the problems at the federal level, we still have blue state governors who are still singing the climate hymnal.
So, Tom, we have a lot of listeners. We're on nationally, as you know, and we have a lot of listeners in Southern and Northern California. Why are Californians paying $1.25 to $1.50 more for gas than people around the rest of the country?
Well, they have, for about the last 10 or 15 years, they have literally done it to themselves, Steve. They've passed all these ridiculous laws and requirements to make the fuel so specialized in California that it becomes more expensive. The other thing that they've done is they've stopped drilling in their own state, and they import, in fact, most of their crude from the Middle East. And so they're the ones who are, in the United States at least, impacted the most by the closure of the Strait of Hormuz.
Right. So, Tom, we have to take a quick break. Can I hold you over for another segment?
You bet.
Okay, folks, this is the More Money Show. That's Tom Pyle, one of the experts on energy policy in America, and we will be right back.
Sacco and Feliz, New York and New Jersey's premier attorneys at law. Their team brings decades of experience across a wide range of practice areas. Whatever life brings, they're your legal team. From everyday matters to complex cases, they've got you covered with the experience you need and the results you want. Because when life gets complicated, they make it simple. SaccoFeliz.com. SaccoFillas.com. 2 C's, 2 L's.
Growing a successful business has never been easy. But whether you're navigating a complex industry or trying to reinvent one, our breadth of banking experts are here to collaborate on market-proven solutions. At KeyBank, we're built to grow with your changing needs because we're not just here for the business you are now. We're here for the business you'll become. Reimagine business as usual. KeyBank opens doors. Learn more at key.com/B2B.
Not sure how to tackle your taxes? Are you sweating the small print? You may be experiencing FOMO, the fear of messing up. The answer? Using TurboTax on Intuit Credit Karma. They help you get your biggest refund, and then we help you do more with it with a personalized plan designed to help you hit your money goals. It's time to take your taxes to the max. Start filing today in the Credit Karma app.
Tomorrow morning is knocking. Stock your fridge now. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or a sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
How about that one, folks? Frank Sinatra and Judy Garland in the Easter Parade. That's my favorite Easter song. I hope you're having a wonderful Easter weekend. I hope the sun is shining wherever you are on this Saturday before Easter. I hope you're going to have a wonderful Easter tomorrow. So I want to get back to Tom Pyle. Tom Pyle is an expert on energy policy. We were having a discussion with him earlier before the break, and I held him over because he's just got so much information about what's going on in the energy world. Tom, thanks for holding over. Now let's get to the future. I've been saying, Tom, that I believe that when the Straits of Hormuz are open, and hopefully that will be very soon. We know, I'm not a military expert, but it looks like things are going well in that area in terms of getting that Straits of Hormuz open. When that happens, Tom, how much will the gas price fall in the U.S. and how fast will it happen?
Yeah, it's a good question. And much like the good jobs report we saw, the futures markets are actually telling us that they're anticipating an end to the closure of the strait. Futures prices for oil in June is trading almost $13 or $14 cheaper than for May, which is a good sign. And I think what you're going to see is, I think you'll see the gas prices will plateau here. And I know it's people are hurting, obviously, but I think it's temporary. As these prices, as these futures markets bear out, I think that they're seeing a light at the end of the tunnel here on the strait.
And so I've been saying, Tom, that I think we could, in about 3 months' time or so, maybe I'm overly ambitious here, that we could see the gas price right back down close to where it was before, where people were paying, $3 or so a gallon nationally.
Yeah, it won't happen overnight, Steve. These things take time, as you know, but this is simply a temporary result of this war and this conflict, and prices will resume their downward trajectory just like they were prior to the invasion.
A couple of weeks ago, the infamous biologist Paul Ehrlich died, and you know that Paul Ehrlich was the author of this group called this very, very famous book, sold millions of copies, called The Population Bomb. And he predicted, that book I think was written in the late 1960s, around 1968 or so. And he predicted in that book that the world was going to run out of energy. Are we running out of energy?
No. In fact, we've done this for a long time, as you know, and in the history of estimating our oil and gas reserves in this country and around the world, they've never been revised downward.
Wow.
We always find more, Steve. And the interesting thing is just all the damage that way of thinking has caused over the years. This whole myth of scarcity has resulted in a lot of bad policy, which, thankfully President Trump, with his energy dominance agenda, is working to unwind.
So I have two final questions for you, and I think they're both important. I want to start with one, which is that in the 1970s, when we saw the biggest spike in energy price in real terms in the last 75 years or so, the government did all these things like windfall profits taxes and other, crazy policies like odd even license plates and so on to fill up your tank. Are we headed back to those policies, and did they work?
Oh, no, they didn't work at all. In fact, they made it worse. They made it worse, yeah. Yep. The best policy is to let these markets work, let them flourish, and let us produce. As you mentioned in the first segment, we're the number one producer of oil in the world. That's only a recent phenomenon thanks to our ability to produce those resources through new technology and innovation. And, I would have been unthinkable a generation ago to even contemplate taking Iran's ability to produce nuclear weapons off the table. So, prices are high now, but a lot of this, is being driven by the fact that we can't have a nuclear Iran, and so hopefully we'll get through this in the short run here and get the economy cooking again.
in our last minute and a half, I'm talking to Tom Pyle, who is the president and CEO of the Energy Institute Research. Tom, a nuclear power, I think we're all in favor of nuclear power, but I'm a little worried, and look, I think nuclear power is a great way to get energy, but I'm a little worried that the government seems to want to throw all these subsidies to the nuclear power industry now, and I worry that could ruin the industry. I mean, why can't we produce nuclear power without all these federal subsidies?
We can, Steve. I think old habits die hard, and unfortunately, right. This is a bipartisan problem.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks that the government has to get involved in these things, and right. They end up creating dependencies and distort markets.
Well, Tom, it didn't work for solar and wind power. Yeah.
Heck no.
Yeah, right. So I'm just worried about that.
It is a little bit of a. Yeah, it's a little bit of a blight here on the overall agenda of the administration. I just don't think we should be subsidizing any form of energy.
Yeah, I think I want to end on that note, Tom, because it's such an important one, that we should let the free market work in energy, right? Tom, it works in every other industry. Why not energy?
100%. Absolutely.
Thank you, Tom. Appreciate you coming on. That's Tom Pyle. He is one of the world's experts on energy policy. And I always say, folks, I'm not one of the smartest radio talk show hosts in the world, but I get some of the smartest guests on, and also I have the smartest listeners. So we will be right back, folks. I hope you are having a wonderful Easter weekend. Easter bonnet, I love it. And we'll be back in about 1 minute.
Thanks for listening to More Money with Steve Moore. You can hear More Money with Steve Moore Saturday afternoons at 1. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
This is Greg Kelly. Donate now to Toys for Tots, which works year-round. Go to toysfortots.org. Toys for Tots supports children in need throughout the year with programs like the Toys for Tots Literacy Program. Established in 2008, it has provided over 63 million books to disadvantaged children. The Toys for Tots Literacy Program is committed to providing disadvantaged children with direct access to books and educational resources that enhance their ability to read and communicate effectively. Go to toysfortots.org.
Hey, sweetie, your mother showed me this Carvana thing for selling the car. I'm going to give it a try. Wish me luck. Me again. I put in the license plate. It gave me an offer. Unbelievable. Okay, I accepted the offer. They're picking it up Tuesday from the driveway. I haven't even left my chair. It's done. The car is gone. I'm holding a check. Anyway, Carvana, give it a whirl. Love ya.
So good, you'll want to leave a voicemail about it. Sell your car today on Carvana. Pickup fees may apply.